Hey everybody, it's me, Jill, the league commissioner from WePlay Kickball, proudly sponsored by WePlay Social, and I'm so happy that you guys are here with me today. We are going to do some Kickball 101, so we're going to talk about some basic gameplay, we're going to talk about the rules, but before all of that, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the league stuff too in the beginning, so come along with me and let's get started. All right, I'm so happy that you're here with me today. I'm so happy that you can join us in this league, and we're gonna have such a great time, you guys. It's so exciting. So welcome to our kickball party. So you haven't played kickball either ever before, or maybe the last time you played might have been either in college or maybe several years ago. If you're like me, it was maybe back in like 2013, 2012. And then maybe some of you haven't played since like grade school or middle school or something like that. So if that's the case, guys, then you're in the right place. And by the way, too, at the end of this video, too, it'll be posted on Facebook, on social media. You'll be able to look back. I'll have different chapters listed there. So if you're like, oh man, I know all of this, but I don't remember like the rules about bunting or like whatever it might be, fielding, whatever, you can skip ahead to some of the chapters that I'll have placed there for you, okay? So it'll make it easier on you and easier on me. But yeah, so the whole goal of this, guys, we want to meet new people, we want to get outside, and we're going to just kick a red ball around. And that's basically it. We're going to laugh our pants off, have a great time. So you'll see me occasionally just looking down. I'm looking at the notes that you're going to see just right up here. And I just want to introduce myself again. I'm Jill. I am your league commissioner, and I've developed this league with your help, really, guys. So a lot of you that are watching this have been with me from the very beginning. It started just with our little neighborhood and just pickup games, gathering. And before you know it, we're all meeting here, 40 plus people. So it just was a no-brainer for me. I thought, we might as well make a league out of this, because why not, right? Like, we live here in Florida, it's beautiful. We should take advantage of this nice weather and get out there and get active and meet some new people, okay? So this is our very first season. It's a pilot season. Please work with us through some of these growing pains as we, kind of explore, how we really want this league to happen and how we want everything to transpire. You're going to be a big part of that, so that's really exciting news. And yeah, we're having Friday night games. The season starts next week, actually, March 27th. There's 2 alternating game times, 5:30 and 6:30. And we're going to have 4 teams, so I'll talk more about that. I sometimes get ahead of myself too, but we'll talk more about that. And so much fun, guys. We actually have after parties over at Tarpon Point Grill and Marina over on Playmore Drive in Venice, just right up the street from the Inglewood Sports Complex, where our games will be held every week. Some of the things that we're going to talk about in this video today, we're going to talk about season information, what our vibe is and our mission here at WePlay Kickball. We're going to talk about some important dates that I'd love to have you just mark down. The theme nights, of course, and what those will be, that we'll be playing at the Inglewood Sports Complex on field number 1 and where that is, and notes of how to get there as well. And we'll talk about a little bit more about the after parties and what those will probably look like. And then we're going to get right into the basic rules, Kickball 101 and gameplay. So let's go ahead and move forward with that. All right, so now you should see this slide up here. It's called season information. And so yes, as mentioned before, this is a 6-week pilot season. There will be no tournament at the end of it. Again, guys, we're just trying to keep things really basic. Us admin people behind the scenes here are just trying to kind of gather data this season, really, just to see how everything's gonna go, how to put these teams together, how many people on each team, like trying to make everybody happy by allowing you to play with the people that you really want to play with. But the thing about that too, guys, is I want to mention really quickly is we're all going to play together. So even if your neighborhood is not all playing together on the same team, we're all there on the field at the same time, enjoying, like, hanging out with each other. You guys can hang out together in the same dugout if you want. Like, this is really going to be a very laid back kind of season, and it's going to be a laid back league, to be honest with you, going forward. That's part of what we want, and we'll talk more about that in a moment as well. As mentioned before, games are going to be at Inglewood Sports Complex on field number 1, and we'll give you that information of how to get to the field. And also, I've got a handbook. I've got a whole handbook that's going to be coming next week as well. So This is going to give you all of the information, everything that you need to know, as far as like all the stuff that I'm mentioning now, and then also like what do we do if there's rain or thunder or lightning. We'll talk a little bit about it here, but all of it's laid out in the handbook as well. As mentioned before, 4 teams are being carefully crafted with you guys in mind and with your desires of like who you want to play with. And again, we can't make everybody happy, but we're going to do our very best to do so, okay? And so we appreciate your patience and your working with us as we navigate all this together for the first time. Now, you've probably seen my posts on social media. If you haven't, please go over there and give me a follow. I've got that information at the end of the video. We are on Facebook now, we're on TikTok. I've got a YouTube channel where this video is going to go for you so you can watch it at any time. And hopefully an Instagram pretty soon. I got to figure all that out, but we're getting there. But yeah, we're going to have t-shirts, 4 different colors, and so for the 4 different teams, and it's got our big logo on the front. They really came out awesome. It's that dry fit material. Super looking forward to getting those in hand either later today or tomorrow. So we'll have those to you pretty soon as well. And then as mentioned before, there's the 2 different game times. They'll alternate week to week, 5:30 and 6:30. And another note on that too, guys, I know that Friday nights don't work for everybody. So I know for a lot of us, the whole reason we started doing Fridays was because our little neighborhood, that's what worked for them. So next season, we may even do a different day, different time, something like that, but we'll take a poll for all of that as well, okay? So yeah, we really have a mix of all different levels and all different players, everybody from beginner to intermediate to advanced, to people of all different ages, to all different walks of life from all different areas, of the country really, and some, people that are diehard Venice, Florida people as well. But I think it's going to be really great. You're going to be playing with people that are in their 60s and even 70s, and then we'll be playing with people that are 21 as well. So it's going to be a really nice mix of people. I'm super excited about that, and good job to all of you that have gotten out and have registered, because I think you're making a really great lifestyle choice as well. And those after parties at Tarpon Point, yeah, they're going to be a lot of fun. I just can't wait. We're going to play like mini games and things like that too. Again, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, so I apologize in advance. But let's move on to the next slide. We're going to talk about our vibe for a minute, because this is really important. So some of you might have been in other kickball leagues or other organized sports or even recreational sports leagues in the past. And a lot of that really is about getting out there, getting exercise, getting that fresh air, having, teammates to hang out with and to have that like social aspect of it. We are all of that. But I also want to think of it a little bit more as like that nostalgia, right? So kickball itself is something that we haven't played in years, right? It's something that when we did play it, we were very young, right? So I want to like kind of tap back into that a little bit. I want to get into like, it's going to sound a little crazy, but your inner child a little bit, right? Because as we get older, adults, no matter what age we are, some of us have children, some of us go on to lead these lives where we have a 9-to-5 job every day, day in and day out, and we kind of forget how to play, or we forget to play. So the whole point of this as well is to really tap into that emotional side of, what's the reason behind why we've joined this league? Of course, it's all those things that I mentioned before, but it's really to play again, to find your people, to let this like be your thing, right? Like you can be like at your company meeting, be like, yeah, I play kickball on Friday nights. And they're like, what are you talking about? You do that? Aren't you 10 again? Well, actually, yeah, if this is what it means to be 10 again, then yeah, sign me up, right? You're not too old for this. So be 10 again minus the bedtime. I love that little line. And recess is not just for kids, guys. It's for us adults too. Don't we need to play too? I think so. And you belong here. Absolutely. Good vibes are mandatory for sure. Like I want this to be, I want us to all have good vibes here while we're playing kickball together. Let's lift each other up. Let's be the community that we want to see out there. A lot of us are in Welland Park. A lot of us are in Venice and surrounding towns. Let's all come together. No matter what, what our religion, our race, our creed, our, political views, any of that stuff. When we get on the field, let's play together. Let's have a good time. And, if somebody's hurting or somebody's having a hard time, we lift that person up. Okay. So that's really what I would like to see. And it's really not a competitive league at all. Some of us are by nature competitive. That's okay. I'm just talking about we're not going to get out there and be super, super competitive to a point where we're yelling at the ref, we're yelling at each other. bringing some of those like not so good vibes on the field. We don't want that, and we won't tolerate that, okay? As you've probably known about this as well, beginners are super welcome, zero experience required to join this league. So we really want to welcome those people. Those of us that have a little bit more experience, let's go ahead and take those beginners under our wing and help show them the ropes. This video here is going to show you some basic stuff, but we need those captains, those co-captains, and you players too that have a little bit more experience to really just take these beginners under your wing, like I say, and help them out a bit, okay? All right, so play, connect, and belong, right? Important dates to remember. So let's talk about that. So we have our big opening night next Friday, the 27th. But before that, did you know on the 26th, that Thursday night at 6 p.m., we're actually meeting at our sponsor restaurant, which, just real quick, a shout out to them, Tarpon Point Grill and Marina. Great people over there, super fun vibe. They're always doing theme nights over there as well. But yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a meetup over there at 6 p.m. We're gonna play some cornhole, we'll get some drink and food discounts, and just like get a feel for what our sponsor bar is really like and have a good time there. We can meet each other too, some of the people that have not yet been able to meet their captains, co-captains, other team members, myself, or Jeff as well, who's my husband and working with me. Yeah, so just a real chance to kind of socialize and get to know one another. Okay, so that's the 26th. The 27th is opening night. So if you can, guys, please try and arrive 15 minutes ahead of time if possible. I want to be able to do just like a little bit of an opening speech. And in addition to that, I just want to make sure that everybody's there on time, because when we get to the Inglewood Sports Complex, you know, it's not quite like Taylor Ranch where we just kind of like winged it, right? And we just like started on our own time. We want to kind of like try to, as best we can, you know, have the game within that hour. So we'll talk a little bit more about timing of things, but we have 7 innings or 55 minutes, whichever comes first, before we play the next game. And then the end of the season is it's going to be on May 1st. So that will be the total of the 6 weeks. And on that same night, we're going to have a bit of an award night as well. And that'll be also at Tarpon Point at around 7:30 after we finish up over there, okay? All right, so theme nights, let's talk a little bit about those. Those are gonna be so much fun. So here are the different dates and the themes that are gonna go with those different nights. So on opening night, well, actually, sorry, let me backtrack here. So you see March 20th there first. That's today, because it's actually Friday when I'm posting this video at 5:30. Wear your favorite hat. It can be a silly hat. It can be just your favorite baseball team hat, you know, whatever it might be for your favorite sports team, whatever it is. But it can also be something like super surprising or goofy too. Just whatever is easiest for you too. I don't want like any of this to be hard, but also like have fun with it too. So that'll be March 20th. And then on the 27th, if you have a wig laying around, like put that thing on. Let's wear that for the 27th. Or if you don't have one, no worries. You can't borrow one. Do your hair kind of funny if you have hair. Make it funny, or again, if you want to just wear another hat or something like that, that's fine. None of this is obviously mandatory, guys. It's just to like have fun. It'll be great for photos. It'll be great to show others, like look at the fun that we have, right? And then on April 3rd, we're gonna do like a Miami Vice, get tropical kind of vibe. You can see the AI generated images here that I've got here, but like see that guy in the blue? Yeah, that's the Miami Vice guy. So have fun with that too. Get super tropical with it. Like, you know, I'm sure there's lots of stuff around here in Florida that we can, you know, pick out and wear, go to Goodwill, anything like that, or borrow something. I'll probably have like some lays that I'll hand out or something like that. And then on the 10th, we have Neon 80s Night. So you can imagine what that will be. We'll have 80s music. And also at all these games, we'll have music blasting, but we'll have 80s music in particular playing on that night. And wear your best neon. Let's see if we can get maybe some glow sticks and some things like that we can hand out. That'll be a lot of fun. And then on the 17th, guys, we're gonna do like a Florida man, Florida woman vibe. So whatever that means to you, you can, you know, use your imagination and dress up accordingly. And the same thing with the 24th, it's gonna be Walmart After Dark vibes. So when I picture that, I picture like, you know, like the little old ladies that still have their curlers in their hair, or people that come in their pajamas or their bathrobes, like stuff like that, okay? Play around with it, be creative, that's what we want. And then for the final night, for our last game night on May 1st, wear a costume, a Halloween costume, whatever you have going on, make your own costume. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with all of that. I'm super excited for that. So there's just a slide here about the Inglewood Sports Complex. And by the way, this whole slideshow is just on Canva and is available for you to look through, because click here to get directions. You see that, right? So you'll actually be able to click on that and it takes you to a Google Doc that has step-by-step directions of how to get to the field. So when you come into the Inglewood Sports Complex, you're going to just keep driving straight down the main road, and you'll pass the rec building on your left. You'll pass, I believe it's the soccer fields on your right. Just keep on going straight. It's almost like toward the very end, you're almost exiting, and then you'll see a sign for, I think it's, it says right here, adult softball parking. You're gonna take that right. And then when you get into that parking lot, you're just gonna drive straight back. There is parking off to the right as well, but you can just drive straight back. And then as far as you go back there, you'll look over to the left and you'll see that's our field. It's kind of tucked away in the corner there. And the way that you can tell it's field 1, there's a little statue of a baseball, as you see in this photo here. And it has a number 1 on it. And that's field 1. That's where our games are every week, okay? Also have a reel on Facebook as well. If you are more of like a visual person or want to like see like an actual walkthrough of how to get to the field. So that's available for you as well. See, I told you I get ahead of myself. Here's the Tarpon Point information. I believe it's 121 Playmore Drive. Have any of you been there before? It's a really fun place. It's outdoors. We'll be in the outdoors. It's a tiki bar vibe. They usually have live music on Friday nights. We'll probably be catching like the tail end of that, and that'll be sweet. And we're gonna have mini games. We'll have cornhole going on. So, you know, built-in social opportunities for you to get to know your teammates and other people in the area. There'll be drink and food discounts as well. I want to say there's going to be like some kind of draft beer discount, and then like a certain percentage off on food as well. So that's pretty cool. It will start like around 7:30, and just because we'll all be like at the field until then. I know some games will end at 6:30, right? They start at 5:30, end at 6:30. You're welcome to go to the bar or go to the field with your shirt on, and hopefully like get some discounts there. But what they've been asking us to do, what the manager asked of me, was we're going to actually be designated to the back area of the tiki restaurant. You'll see where the stage is. That's where the band is. And to the right of there's like a whole shelled like lot right there. And that's where we're going to be. And they want to set up some tables there for us. And they want a wait staff member to wait on us. So we're going to try our best to stay in one area, have the wait staff wait on us, and go from there with it, okay? Yep, so beginning starts at 7:30, begins the Friday 3/27, actually 3/26 while we're there, right? But then 3/27 game night right up to May 1st. All right, now for this portion of the video, we're gonna go ahead and dive right into some kickball one-on-one. We're gonna talk about what kickball is, what the heck does the field look like? This is really basic beginner stuff, guys. So if you already have this information, you can either skip this section, or you can look at the timestamps that I'll have in the description of this video, and you can jump right to whichever topic maybe you need a refresher on, or maybe you didn't know. Because I'm sure there's probably like a couple of rules in here that some of us that are more advanced or even intermediate might not know about. Like, for example, men are not allowed to bunt. And there's some rules based on that and stuff too. And there's some safety bases. So look for those if you don't know about those, or whatever else is in the chapters you can have a look at and go straight to it, okay? All right, so what is kickball? So kickball is basically, there's 2 teams, there's 4 bases, there's a large red kickball, and it's played baseball style with some variations, and we're gonna dive into those variations, of course. There's a simple objective with it, and that's to score more runs than the opposing team. Okay, that's it at the very basic. So let's talk about first what to wear and what to bring with you to your kickball games, okay? You should wear athletic clothing. Wear something that's comfortable for you. Have your team shirt on, and you can have cleats on as well. Just don't let them be metal cleats, okay? No metal cleats. Protective gear is allowed as long as it doesn't give you an unfair advantage and doesn't interfere with your gameplay at all. All clothing and gear is considered part of the player, meaning if somebody throws the ball at you and it hits like, your shirt, let's say, or like your cleat, whatever it is, that's part of you and can be considered an out. Bring a water bottle, sunscreen, sunglasses, all the things that you would do playing in the hot Florida heat, right? Of course, it's going to be more toward nighttime, so we won't have that blaring sun blazing down on us, but the further we go into season here, the hotter it's gonna get, and you're gonna want that water, okay? We'll try to have some extras on hand as well, okay? Let's talk about Spirit. So as mentioned before, it's not a competitive league, although some of us do have some friendly competition, you know, vibes going on. That's totally okay. We're neighbors and teammates, so let's lift one another up. Refs, which to be honest, guys, will probably be me or Jeff or one of our teammates that wants to help volunteer with that. We are just that, we're volunteers for this season. So I do hope for in the future that we'll get some hired refs as well who like really know what they're doing, but also like it's not that serious. It's really not that serious, at least not this league. So that's what I mean too. It's not super competitive, okay? So please be nice because yeah, it's most likely gonna be me or Jeff. And you know, we're also learning too. And for myself, I did play softball growing up. I played kickball, like I said, back in like 2012, 2013 for a couple of years back in Worcester, Massachusetts. I don't remember it all. Like that's why also one of the reasons why I'm doing this 101, guys, is so that I can also remember, you know, some of these rules and really get them ingrained into my mind as well. So always, always, always just bring those good vibes, okay? All right, let's talk about safety real quick. So you gotta stretch, guys, stretch, stretch, and stretch some more. Like really stretch your hamstrings, you know, stretch out all those muscles and even like your wrists, like doing these exercises. We'll walk through some of those. The captains certainly walk your players through those, like stretch out, because myself in this situation, I don't like, I walk a lot, but I don't do some like heavy lifting or heavy exercise. So it's really important if you're not like doing that all the time, even if you are, just to stretch really well, okay? For inclement weather, you'll see in the handbook when I give that to you, we do have rules regarding that. Like for example, if there's lightning observed and the ref makes these calls, which again would probably be me or Jeff, we are supposed to wait 30 minutes just to see if the lightning does subside. And because you know here in Florida, we are about to get into rainy season, so we probably will deal with that a little bit. So we do have policies around that. Stay well hydrated, wear that sunscreen. We kind of talked about that. We do have safety bases. I'm going to show you some visuals of this in just a few moments here. But the reason for the safety bases, so there's going to be one at first base and one right near home plate as well. So the runners are going to run to the safety base. And the whole reason for that is to avoid collision with the first baseman and with the catcher. We'll talk more about it, okay? A lot of us have kids. It's so wonderful that we can bring our kids. I think that's also something that kind of sets us apart from some of the other leagues around. We allow you to bring your children with you. There's a space for them to play. It's not like baseball where we're hitting like a hard ball out into the outfield. The kids are out there, way out there. They're playing, they're having a good time, but we still have to supervise them, okay? Have to make sure that the kids are okay. Again, back to stretching and all that stuff. Be mindful of your body. If your body's saying like, oh, I don't know if I should run, we'll get you a pinch runner. It's fine. Like we'll get somebody to run for you. That's okay. Or if you're like, I think I just kind of need to sit out, that is absolutely fine. And I want you to listen to your body, because most of the time we ignore what's going on, and then that's when injuries can happen. So yeah, once again, that last little bullet point review, WePlay's safety section of the handbook, and we do have a protocol for a lot of the different safety measures. I have incident reports on hand, things like that, okay? And I also have a first aid kit that I carry with me each time. You guys probably don't know that, but I have that as well. So just so you know. And again, here there's, once you get access to this Canva presentation, you'll be able to click on safety section here on this bottom bullet point and go straight to that, okay? All right, let's talk about the field layout. So again, very beginner basic stuff. In baseball, as you can see here on this picture here, this green and brown and all this is called a baseball diamond. And so it's made up of an infield and an outfield. So the infield there is that brown area, right? It has 4 bases. It has home plate, first, second, and third. It has a pitcher's mound, that's the circle in the middle. The kicking box is right where home plate is, and we'll dive in a little closer to that so you can see that up close. And then in the infield, we have defensive players, meaning people that are the fielders. They're going in that brown area. So there's 6 of them in there, and we'll talk about those positions too. And then you have the outfield, that's the green space, the grassy area. And there are 3 to 4 defensive players positioned there, depending on how many players we have. Talk more about it. And the white lines that run on the first base line and the third base line, those are called the foul lines, and we'll talk more about those. All right, so more with the field layout. So now let's talk about those positions. Like I said before, we have about 6 positions there in the infield, right? So there should be a minimum of 8 players on the field. I guess you can get away with 7, but we try to want to like go for 8. and then a maximum of 11, maybe 10. So this field position that you're seeing here, this is 10 players, okay? So in the infield we have 6. Let's go through with me here. We have the pitcher right in the center there, P. Catcher is C. They hang out right behind home plate. We have the first baseman, 1B, right over there by first base, right to the right there. Second baseman kind of hangs out right there in between first and second base. We have the shortstop, which is hanging out sort of between second and third base. And then the third baseman themselves is right there around third base. And then in the outfield, mostly there's three fielders out there, and you would have, it's not laid out here for you, but you'd have a left fielder, a center fielder, and a right fielder. But if we have enough for 10, we'll put them out there. We'll do left field, as you can see, all the way to the left. And then in between sort of center and left field, we have left center field. And then to the right of center field, we have somebody that's gonna be right center field, RCF. And then all the way to the right there behind first base in the outfield is the right fielder. So those are all of the positions in the field, okay? It's a lot like baseball. All right, so the next slide here, we have the bases, okay? As I said before, there's 4 bases. So you have first base, second base, third base, and home plate, technically home plate, but we're gonna call it also base number 4 here. So the person that's running the bases after they kick the ball, they are running counterclockwise, guys. So following the numbers, you're starting at home plate, you're kicking the ball, you're running to first, second, third, and then home, okay? Next slide here, we have foul lines. So I mentioned those before, those white lines that are running from basically home all the way to first, and then from home all the way to third. So the kicker must kick the ball into fair territory. So that's anywhere inside those red arrows as you see here. So the area in between the foul lines. And if the player kicks the ball outside of the foul line territory, the ball is considered to be a foul ball. And you get 3 of those, okay, before you're considered to be out. Okay, and there's 3 outs. We'll talk about that too, not to get ahead of myself. And then just another note about the sidelines, guys. So only coaches, refs, and the kicker may occupy the sideline area before a ball is kicked. So after that ball is kicked, the active runners, the fielders, they can enter that area. But before that, they just need to stand clear. So there's no interference or anything like that. Interference can be technically called out. So we just have to be careful of that too. I don't know how serious we'll be about that, honestly, but you know, we'll try to keep that in mind as well, right? Let's talk a little bit more about those safety bases. So in this photo here, you can see I kind of have like a right green triangle kind of blocking off. I was trying to like avoid some of the other chaotic kind of writing that was going on here. But you see these bases that are in orange that are being pointed out to with the red arrows. So those are the safety bases, and we will have these in our kickball games, okay? So there's going to be one that's going to be just to the right of first base, and there's going to be one that's right around home plate as well. So if you're the kicker, you're kicking the ball, you're gonna run to the safety base first. After you've been called safe, then you can go ahead and move right to that white base, to first base, okay? But it's just to prevent collision. And same thing at home, run to the home safety base. And of course, if at any time there's any questions, just put them right here in the comments. Either if you're on YouTube watching this, put it there, or on Facebook, whatever, okay? All right, let's talk about the teams and positions a little bit, moving to the next slide here. So with our league right now, again, like I said, it's a pilot league. We've just been experimenting, trying to figure this out a little bit. It's been a long time since I've played, so I was trying to like think realistically, how many players can we get really? We wanted to have enough for 4 teams, so I went ahead and I made the reservations with Inglewood Sports Complex to have 2 games, a 5:30 game, a 6:30 game. And with calculating all the mathematics, we kind of figured out if we could get like 52 players, like 13 players per team, that way it gives us a little leeway, like we want 8 to 10 people, right, in the field. So if we had 13, that gives us a little extra. I had no idea how popular it was going to be, guys. We had like so many registrations. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, with this particular season, we're just kind of keeping it small for now, and we will change that going forward. You'll be able to register full teams, all of that, okay? But so 13 or more players on each team. We'll talk about it once we start solidifying those teams this week. Each team does need at least 4 women, okay? We want to keep things fair. As we talked about before, 8 to 10 players in the field, a maximum number of 11. Each team will have a captain that will make the kicking lineup, and put players into positions on the field. All teams must have a pitcher and a catcher. So I know not many people nominated themselves to be a captain. We do have a couple. We have one for the Legends. We have one for the Sharks. Really, guys, all that a captain is going to do this season is really create the lineup for the kicking and then put their prospective players into positions on the field. That's all I want you to do. You're going to draft up that lineup for kicking and give that to me, or whoever is the ref, and that's all you need to do. And you can have a co-captain with you as well, so you don't have to do it alone. So I'm hoping that somebody else will be able to step up and do that, okay? Because I can't do it all. I just can't. I need your help, okay? Like as I just said before, there could be a co-captain as well to help the team captain. And captains and co-captains can assist if they would like to with first and third base coaching, should they choose to do so, and they can also elect another player on their offensive team to do so. There'll be the 4 teams total, and we'll split the amount of players evenly across those 4 teams. And like I said before, next season we can register full teams. So just thank you so much for working with us on this and for just bearing with us on all of that. All right, next slide. Let's talk about kicking the ball. So the team captain, like I said before, will make that kicking order, give it to the referee before the start of the game. The players will line up in their order. So all you have to do really is just remember who is before you, all right? So Jeff's name is mentioned. So let's say it's Dan, Jeff, Jill, Jennifer. I'm Jill, okay? I remember that I'm playing after Jeff, right? So that's all I have to remember is who I'm playing at, who I'm kicking after, okay? We just have to be careful too that players, that they don't kick out of turn, because this can result in an out as well. You want to kick inside the kicking box and behind home plate. We're going to do a little close-up of what the kicking box looks like and where you would be within that, okay? Bunting. Now here's the part that some of us more intermediate players may not be aware of. With certain kickball leagues, I know a lot do this across the board, and we're going to follow this policy as well, is that men will not be able to bunt. You can kick the ball past the white line drawn straight across from first base to third base. So there is, some of us saw this at the Inglewood Sports Complex. There's literally a white line. It goes in front of the pitcher's mound from third base to first base. So men, if you want to kick the ball more softly, let's say, you just got to get it over that line. If the catcher grabs the ball before it reaches that line, that's automatically an out. Now we're going to talk about the kicking box, okay? So your kick does not have to start inside the kicking box. You don't, like, your body does not have to start, I should say, inside of the kicking box. But when you're running up to go and kick the ball, the kick has to happen inside the kicking box, okay? Your foot has to make contact with the ball inside the kicking box. And also your foot, the foot that you're kicking with, it has to be behind home plate, okay? So if you don't like a pitch or something, it's like going too slow or it's like going a little outside, let it go. It could be called a ball, okay? We'll talk more about what that means as well. Now moving on to the strike zone. The strike zone is basically, it's not something that you can see, but it's a 3-dimensional image that extends a foot high and a foot behind home plate, a foot in front of home plate, and a foot to either side. So you're imagining like this, basically like this rectangular box that comes up a foot and goes around a foot on each side. Okay, that's the strike zone. So when the ref is watching the pitcher pitch the ball down, they're going to be looking in that spot to see, is that a strike or is that a ball? We'll talk more about that in a minute. All right, let's talk a little bit about actual gameplay. So the offense are the kickers and the defense are the fielders. Okay, the offensive players are going to take turns coming up to kick while the defensive players are taking the field. So those defensive players, they go out to their positions, as you can see here with the little black shadow people, and then the kickers are going to follow their order. And what did I say before? You're going to follow the person that was in front of you, right? You're just going to remember that person's name, right? So the kickers step up to the general area behind home plate. The ball is being pitched to them. They're going to kick the ball behind home plate and within the kicking box. So 3 strikes are an out. So that includes 3 misses. So if you kick your foot and you miss the ball, that's considered a strike. Or if the pitcher pitches the ball and it's right in that strike zone and you don't kick the ball, you just let it come by, that can also be counted as a strike. So 3 of those equals an out. And then also 3 foul balls. I keep mixing this up. I thought it was 4. I feel like it's 4 in baseball. It's 3 actually in kickball, or the way that we're going to play, that we play it, okay? 3 foul balls equal an out. So these are kicks that do not make it inside the white foul lines, okay? You kick the ball and it goes, you see the foul territory in the picture, it goes to the left of that or to the right of it at the first baseline. That's considered a foul. All right, let's move on to the next part of gameplay here. Okay, all right, so pitchers, let's talk about the pitchers on defense here. The pitchers must start with 1 foot on the mound The mound you'll see, guys, for those of us that don't know, it's like a rectangular base, like a structure that's right there on the pitcher's mound. So they're going to have 1 foot at least starting on that as they're getting ready to pitch the ball. The pitching style is really unrestricted, guys. You can whip it down there. You can put some spin on it if you want. You can throw a meatball if you want to. But the ball must be delivered by hand, obviously, but we have to state it, right? And it must bounce at least twice and before it makes it to the kicker. Okay, it's got to be below the knee. The catchers, they have to stay behind the kicking box and avoid contact or interference with the kicker. Fielders must stay behind the first third diagonal, that white line that's drawn from third base to first base. So the fielders have to stay behind that when the ball is being kicked, okay? All right, let's talk a little bit about running and scoring next. So once the ball is kicked, you're gonna run to the safety base at first base and stay within the baseline, the white line, as you run, or you may be called out. So if you're like all the way inside or all the way outside of it, you could be called out by the ref. So just be careful of that. Let's talk a little bit about leading off or stealing. Those are not allowed. Your foot has to stay on the base when it's the next kicker's turn. So you've kicked the ball, you're on first base, your foot stays on the base while you're waiting for the pitcher to pitch the ball and for that person, the next person, to kick the ball. Your foot should be on the base. Sometimes in baseball, you might see it like they lead off. So leading off is when they're slightly off of the base and they're like kind of like inching their way a little bit toward second base. They're allowed to do that. And they're even allowed to steal. So with that, we're not allowed to do that in kickball, but the pitcher in baseball would pitch the ball and that person can steal second. They can run and the catcher might catch the ball and throw it down to second to see if second baseman can tag them before they get it. So that's called stealing. We don't allow that, okay? So just to reiterate that, your foot must stay on the base when it's the next kicker's turn to kick, and you may not run to the next base before or while the ball is being pitched. Tag ups. Some leagues, some kickball leagues require a tag up, and that is, I'm just saying it's allowed. I'm not gonna say you have to do it. But so you wait with your foot on the base while the fielder catches a kicked ball. So if you're on the base, say you're on second base and there's only 1 out, the next kicker gets up, kicks the ball, and the catcher catches. Your foot's on the base. But as soon as that catcher catches the ball, if you feel like you can make it to third, you can book it. As long as your foot's on the base, the ball's caught, then take off and take third. It's not considered stealing or anything like that, okay? It's a tag up. That's allowed. Ties go to the runner, okay? So I know this is like kind of a gray area, and this is the point where some of us want to be competitive, like, oh man, they were definitely out or they were definitely safe. Please be gentle on the refs, okay? And I most likely won't have 2 of us. I might just have 1 of us or just myself. So tie goes to the runner, okay? So if the ball's thrown to a baseman at the same time that the runner touches the base, they are called safe. And that is up for discretion, right, of the ref. Okay, running and scoring continued. Next slide here. If there is an overthrow by defense, meaning if somebody in the field has the ball and they're throwing it to first base and that first baseman doesn't catch it, it goes over into the foul territory, the runner may advance only 1 base. They can't just run from second, then to third, and then home. It's only 1 base, okay? So the most that runner could get was to second base, if that makes sense. When you're running, you're on first base and there's somebody on second base, a runner on second, somebody kicks the ball, it's gonna be a home run. As the person on first base, just don't pass the person that's on second base. You have to like stay behind that person, okay? You have to let them advance forward to third and then home, and then you advance second, third, home. Okay, you can't just pass them. I was laughing a little bit. One of our players, his son is super fast, is like a star athlete runner. And I was like, don't pass him, because he could have passed his dad, you know, but that could be considered an out. Okay, runs score when home plate is touched before the third out, except on forced plays. Let's talk about defense fielding. So after a ball is kicked by offense, it is the defense player's job, the fielders, to get the offense team out. And they can do this by catching a ball that's kicked in the air, catch those pop flies, or a line drive. They can do it by tagging the base where there's a forced out. So when you kick the ball, the offense kicks the ball, the defense is gonna try to get that ball, throw it to first base to get you out, either by tagging that base, I'm getting ahead of myself again, or they can tag the runner, that's the next one, with the ball as that runner is advancing to a base. They can throw the ball at the runner as long as it's from the neck down. Any headshots, that's not allowed. Or the pitcher can strike out the kicker, or the kicker makes 3 fouls, and that's considered an out, okay? Some other outs that aren't listed here in this main section include interference. a lineup violation, baseline violations, missed bases, etc. Don't worry too much about that stuff. And you can always ask your captain a little bit more to explain that a little bit more, or myself too, if you want me to. 2 more slides here, guys. We're doing great. Game regulations. So let's talk about innings. So a completed inning is when both teams have a chance to kick the ball. One team gets up, they kick, they get 3 outs. That's considered half an inning. Then the next team gets up, they have a chance to kick, they get 3 outs. That completes 1 inning. There are 7 innings in our games, or we also have a time constraint. So either 7 innings or 55 minutes, whichever one happens first. And no new beginnings happen after 50 minutes. And that's really just to keep things on target, because we will have that second game that starts right at 6:30, okay? If the home team is in the lead, entering the bottom of the final inning, the game ends. So let's say the home team has 10 points and the away team has 8. If they're like going to be kicking last, the home team's going to kick last. If they already have 10 points, we're not going to just let them kick again. If that's the end of the game, they're already in the lead. So that just marks the end of the game. Does that make sense? Games stopped after 3 full innings are considered official, meaning if 3 innings have been completed and it starts raining or it starts thundering and lightning, the game can be called off, and that's considered a full game, okay? But games that are stopped before 3 full innings may be rescheduled. So that's really all I have for you. I know there's so much more to it. We're going to learn a lot. I want you guys to join us if you can today at the Inglewood Sports Complex, March 20th here, Friday at 5:30. Come join us. Come see what it's all about. Bring a friend with you. We do have just a couple of slots left too for registration, but we're pretty much closing it after this weekend because we got to get moving on this scheduling of the teams. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please give it a like here on YouTube and subscribe to our channel too, so you can see all these cool reels that we're going to be posting of all the gameplay actions and things like that. We have a Facebook page, we have a TikTok account, and YouTube, so follow us on all of those. And we can't wait to see you on the field. So we'll see you next time, and thanks again so much. Take care.